what I'm looking to do is I've attended a couple of your events. I've taken a couple of the uh,
Uh,
workshops or whatever. I think Tracy
yeah,
Z is
Tracy Z and Fred Rui, right?
really, yep.
Huh?
And so, I feel like I'm at the point now where I've learned enough. It's time to get specific and take action.
So, do you have bank financing on all of your rentals? Just
I do have financing on all of them at the
okay.
point.
Well, what sort of equity position do you have in general? I'm trying. And don't answer if it's too personal.
No, no, no. It's actually it's about 46% loan to value at this point across the portfolio.
Oh, so you have a fair amount of equity, and so that's phenomenal. And so if you, yeah. So one thing. Um, Okay, I know what I want to say, but what is it that you asked me again that you want me to go for? Okay, the easiest way to get going in notes, right?
Yeah, I'm
Because,
looking like paper stack or something like that. And just
okay,
how do
so
I evaluate? How do I
yes, and I love this because this is fairly common. And you know what? I'm gonna just make a little mini course around this because it's just so important and so common. And this is great things that a lot of people are scratching their heads. In fact, I was just had a nice, I got invited to a sort of inner circle club to present to some people who have more money than time. They're doctors and dentists and professionals that make a lot of money but don't have a lot of time to deploy. So it was really fun connecting with them, but they have the similar questions. They're not sure, how do I do it? So it's interesting that everybody from beginner, you have no money hardly to do anything with, to you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, or millions waiting to deploy. You could still be scratching your head trying to get your head around this. So I always say, which I said earlier this week to those people, is the easiest way to get started in the note business is to carry paper on property you already own. And you said you don't want to do it late now, but later. But I just want to, and if anyone else has comments, feel free to jump in. My perspective, though, is that you started out saying things are changing, and that's why I don't want to acquire more property.
Yep.
So if it were me, this is a time to take profits. This is a time to at least take and position to hunker down a little more, because right now you've got 54% equity position. If the market softens, that could go down to a 20% equity position. Now, just in general, and I don't know your personal situation, where you're invested, what type of property, but just as a general rule, you making a point of like, I'm getting into a time where I might need more passive income. I might consider taking a couple of my properties,
Yep.
paying them off, and getting two that, so sell two and then pay the loans down on the two others so that you have two free and clear properties, so that you're capturing the profits now, because we're at a high, and some people say go higher, but I think we're both seeing that we want to be careful and just position to be a little stronger. So more cash in the bank, take those profits while things are
I've
high.
looked at that as in terms of a straight sale of like one property pay off another, which keeps
Mhm.
the same cash flow, one less property to worry about, right? One
Mhm.
less property where insurance is going to ratchet up yet again next year.
Exactly.
um, so that is an option, or 1031ing into a different property, but I'm not sure I want to do that right now. But
Yeah.
so if I were to go the route, so there are two properties that I own that I would consider, for something like that. So the first two that I bought were sort of rehabs coming out of the 2008 crash. So they're a little bit older properties. They're like mid-century last year. They were fully rehabbed in 2012, 2013. The rest of them, all the rest that I bought are all brand new, were brand new construction when I purchased. So The two older properties, which bring in less, and I also have lower balances on them, are the two that I might be open to doing something with.
So getting involved with notes. So to me, the easiest place, and because you know the collateral, because you owned the property for a long time, you don't have to do you already have due diligence in your brain, right? Because you know the property, and if you had to take it back, you're all right with that, right? The next best way to get involved in the note business. So if you're selling a property on seller financing that you already have owned, so that's an origination. But of course, you're lending, and this is a beginner class. So please, if I'm using terms that you don't understand, please help me, tell me, or if it's too boring, forgive me. But it's you're not taking money and lending it to the seller from your bank account to them so they can pay you. You're lending your equity, but it's an origination. But you still end up with a note and deed of trust, right? Now, the next easiest way for people, like I'm talking low hanging fruit for people to get in, is just being a private lender. Okay. And people that want to borrow money, business purpose, just call it rehabber people, right? So you make an origination with money you take out of your bank to lend to them. Okay. But those are plentiful, and you've got a broker putting those together usually for you. So there's the compliance, and you need to really vet those people and still do your own diligence. But yeah, that's an origination, but you're still ending up with a note and deed of trust. So we don't call it the note business sometimes, but it's the same kind of thing. Just you're going in by origination. Now, the note business, as we talk about classically, is buying other people's seller carry paper. So you could carry paper, or you could buy other people's seller carry paper, but you still end up with a note and a deed of trust by assignment, though, instead of so all of those things are ways to participate in money or equity being secured by a property. I mean, a loan, right? Cash flow coming in, being secured by a property.